Guys, if you like Dragon Ball Hakai, today is the best day for you to subscribe to our Patreon. We started publishing about 3 pages a day of the next chapter of Dragon Ball Hakai. In addition, you will also have access to several other stories created by our team, including Dragon Ball Shinken. By collaborating with our Patreon, you help us keep Dragon Ball Hakai alive and have a lot of benefits. Become a member of our community too. The link is in the video description and in the pinned comment. I'm waiting for you there.
Hakai.
Dr. Hedo is walking normally through the streets of West City when suddenly a car stops next to him, making him a little suspicious. This car has the Capsule Corporation logo on its roof. When the car window rolls down, we see that it's Bulma, who greets Dr. Hedo and asks if they can talk. Obviously, Dr. Hedo is a little hesitant, but he accepts. Despite not going into such minute details, Bulma manages to explain the urgency of the situation to Dr. Hedo. Hearing everything Bulma said, Dr. Hedo says he's a little surprised by it all. Dr. Hedo says, "I think I understand the situation, but I admit that it is very strange to see you guys, who were my grandfather's enemy, asking for my help." Bulma justifies this by being very sincere. "Dr. Gero was a very bad guy who needed to be stopped. At the time, I thought it was a waste for someone as intelligent as him to do such evil thing. I think you can go the opposite way and do the good your grandfather could have done. You don't have any resentment for what happened to your grandfather, do you?" Dr. Hedo responds with unexpected honesty. "Honestly, I don't care what happens to my grandfather. I was just a kid back then, and I didn't even know him." Bulma's really relieved when she hears this, realizing that she won't lose this ally because of what happened in the past. However, Dr. Hedo does not intend to collaborate that easily, and makes this clear. "But I don't intend to be altruistic. I want to be very well paid, and I also want the freedom to carry out my own projects." Luckily, he's talking to the richest woman in the world. Bulma tells him her proposal. "That's no problem. I'll pay 2 billion for every android you make or help us improve. You'll also have all the resources and equipment that Capsule Corporation can offer." Dr. Hedo is more than satisfied when he hears this proposal and says it is perfect. Bulma is even happier that he agreed, and not wanting to waste time suggests that he move right now. The Capsule Corporation car, apparently without even needing Dr. Hedo's instructions, goes directly to his house on a sinister hill that we all know from the Dragon Ball Super manga. It's called Butterfly Mountain. Dr. Hedo is surprised when he sees where they are going and asks how Bulma knows he is living there. She is a bit mysterious in her response, only saying that she did her homework on him. But what she doesn't know is why Dr. Hedo chose this isolated place to live, and asks him that. Dr. Hedo also responds in a mysterious way, just telling her that it doesn't matter anymore. Well, anyone who read the Dragon Ball Super manga knows very well the unethical things that Hedo intended to do in this place. After packing Dr. Hedo's things, Bulma flew him to the secret laboratory, which will be his base of operations. Dr. Hedo takes a close look at the files on Dr. Gero's supercomputer while being observed by Bulma, who's a little tense and anxious waiting for an answer from him. Bulma finally gives in to her anxiety and asks what she wants to know. Fortunately, Dr. Hedo's response is positive. "From what I've seen, with my great intelligence and the Capsule Corporation's technology, I can certainly take up my grandfather's projects and improve them a lot." Bulma gets very excited when she hears this, now having confirmed that her idea of hiring Dr. Gero's grandson worked. Dr. Hedo says he would like to get to work right now if she doesn't mind. Bulma agrees but warns there is someone he must see first. Then, footsteps echo through the secret laboratory as a mysterious figure approaches. When Dr. Hedo sees who it is, he cannot hide his astonishment, making clear his shock at seeing that person there. The person who just arrived is a woman, and from the clothes she's wearing, she's also a scientist. On Universe 7's planet of destruction, a fierce fight ensues while Oob remains dormant. This fight is between Beerus and Majin Buu, who are fighting a fierce battle for the planet's food. Enraged, the god of destruction of Universe 7 complains, "You fat bastard, you're eating all the food on my planet." On the other side, the pink demon responds, "I'm hungry, hungry." "Then get your own food," the destroyer retorts. Beerus, who was previously vehemently opposed to the idea of Majin Buu and Oob being taken by the Celestial Guardians, now has a completely opposite thought, hoping that their boss will arrive soon. "Geez, that damn Pycon said he was going to come after these two, but he's taking too long. I can't take this pain in the ass anymore." However, the god of destruction suddenly seemed to have an idea, and so he makes a proposal to Buu. Hey, Majin Buu, I need you to do me a favor. If you do, I'll give you all the food you want. Of course, this attracts Majin Buu's curiosity, who looks suspiciously and surprised at the Hakai. A few minutes later, a cube-shaped ship arrives at high speed at the planet of destruction, tearing through the sky and entering the planet in the form of a flash of light. However, despite the extraordinary speed with which it was moving, the cube lands smoothly. Those traveling in the cube are Piccolo, Gohan, and Piccolo, certainly coming from Earth. When they leave the cube, Gohan and Piccolo take a curious look at the planet of the god of destruction. So this is Lord Beerus's planet? Gohan wonders aloud as he contemplates the planet. Piccolo, apparently finding the environment to his liking, comments, "It seems like a calm and silent place." Piccolo senses someone's presence. It's the owner of the planet himself, who responds to Piccolo's comment while approaching them. "It was very calm and quiet before I met you all. Getting straight to the point." Piccolo justifies their delay. "Sorry for the delay. I had to convince Son Gohan to come. I guess I couldn't have done it if it weren't for Piccolo." Gohan still doesn't seem completely convinced and whines. "I'm going to be jobless for the first time." Piccolo, no longer patient, starts to scold him. "Stop whining. The fate of the Earth and the universe is more important. Also, your father-in-law is rich, so your family won't go hungry." Seeing a master scolding his disciple, Piccolo also looks for his master. "Is Master Whis around? I wish I had the opportunity to see him this time." Beerus responds, "No, Whis went somewhere with Vegeta. I don't know what they went to do or how long it will take them to get back." This seems to make Piccolo a little disappointed. "I see. In that case, I'll take these two at once, along with Gohan and Piccolo." Without wasting any time, the travel cube takes flight again, this time also taking Oob and Majin Buu. So guys, what do you think Piccolo will do now that he has Gohan, Majin Buu, Piccolo, and Oob? Comment what you think. And also, what favor did Beerus ask Majin Buu before the others arrived? What could someone like him ask Majin Buu? Tell us your theories. Continuing. With the planet empty, Beerus took the opportunity to take a nap, but his nap wouldn't last long as more people arrived on the planet without him noticing. Beerus suddenly gets a big scar, and the reason for this scar is that there is a huge discharge of energy happening right there on his planet, making the Hakai wonder what power this is that has appeared there. This energy is coming from Broly, who is frantically releasing power while also seeming to try to maintain his consciousness with some difficulty. He's doing this while being watched by Vegeta and Whis. Vegeta looks at him very carefully, literally analyzing the other Saiyan. Vegeta notices that Broly has become even stronger since that day they met on Earth. For a second, he looks worried, but then Vegeta shows that it's the opposite. He smiles with excitement and asks Broly to try using some transformation. Broly doesn't have time to transform, as they are interrupted by Beerus arriving and screaming at Whis. This especially scares Broly, who's naturally not used to an angry god yelling around. "What is this lunatic doing on my planet?" the Hakai asks the angel, who remains calm as always. Broly, on the other hand, is a little saddened to be called that. But the one who responds to Beerus is Vegeta. "Since Kakarot is no longer here, Broly is the most appropriate to train with me. In addition to also being a Saiyan, he has great power and potential, so he will push me to surpass my limits." The Destroyer does not accept this justification, not intending to be so nice and indulgent this time. "Then go train somewhere else. Don't bring people here without permission. This isn't a hotel." Beerus stops complaining when his attention is suddenly attracted by a smell that really pleases the Destroyer's nostrils. The smell comes from the food that has just been cooked by Lemo, which immediately catches Beerus's attention, leading the Hakai to try it and consequently fall in love with what he is tasting. Beerus starts to challenge his mind when he tastes Lemo's food, and he surrenders once and for all when he contemplates Chilai's beauty. This is how Broly and his friends are accepted on the God of Destruction's planet. With Beerus's interruption resolved, Whis draws everyone's attention to what really matters. "Alright, let's start with training." Vegeta completely agrees and then speaks again. "That's right. Broly, I want you to fight me right now. But it won't be just any training. I want you to fight with the intention of killing me." Broly gets a little tense at this request from the other, saying, understanding that things are a little bit more serious than he probably thought. Universe 12, Planet of Destruction. Giin meditates concentratedly, floating on the waters of his planet. He's observed by the angel Martinu, his mentor. Martinu seems proud of her disciple's attitude and comments in her thoughts. Now that Lord Giin has done all his work and has nothing left to destroy across the universe, he's focusing 100% of his time on meditations to try to advance in mastering his power of destruction. However, peace on the planet is suddenly interrupted when a flash of light falls on it, landing on the central island. "You here?" Martinu asked, surprised, when she sees who just arrived. Giin also becomes aware of the strange presence on his planet, and quickly flies away from where he is to the central island. "What do you want here?" he asks when he lands on the island. Unexpectedly, those who just arrived on Universe 12's planet of destruction are Goku and Vados, and the one who answers the other Hakaishin's question is Goku, who says, "God of Destruction Giin, I need to talk to you."
In Universe 7, Whis takes Vegeta, Broly, and the others to a dimension inside his staff, so that the two can fight without causing damage to Beerus's planet. Broly and Vegeta stare at each other, their expressions indicating that things are going to get serious from now on, and that they are truly willing to give it their all. Showing great control over this transformation and his divine ki, Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue without making any fuss. Already knowing Broly's extraordinary potential thanks to their confrontation on Earth, he says he will start fighting in Super Saiyan Blue, as it makes no sense to use any level lower than that against Broly. He also tells Broly that he already realized that he trained to control his powers during that period when they didn't see each other, and then asks the legendary Saiyan to use everything he learned during that time. Broly nods. He does his power concentration stance and begins to contract his muscles. Broly's eyes change color, and then his pupils disappear as he displays a great release of power that can be seen even outside of Whis' staff in the form of a sparkling glow. As Broly reveals his energy in the form of a dense ki aura, Vegeta looks on in awe. He sees around the other Saiyan the figure of an Uzaru roaring wildly, representing the most primitive form of the warrior race's power. With this release of Broly's power that shakes the environment, Limo shows great fear, remembering what happened on Earth and saying that he feels that chaos will repeat itself there. The manifestation of Broly's energy continues, kicking up dust and spreading a strong wind in all directions as his ki is elevated. Unlike Lemo, Chialai appears to be more concerned with Broly himself than with the chaos he can cause. She says she hopes this brute doesn't hurt him, referring to Vegeta, whose uncompromising personality she already knows. Right behind them are Whis and Beerus. Beerus, for some reason, when focusing his gaze on Chialai for a moment, is struck by a bad mood and a feeling of disapproval, complaining about some supposed plan of Vegeta's. After releasing so much power, Broly seems to have finally regulated his ki and shows his combat stance, indicating that he is ready. Vegeta also prepares, excitedly commenting that the other Saiyan has gained control over the Ozaru's power, but at an incredible speed that surprises Broly, Vegeta advances directly against him to deliver a strong and accurate punch to the larger Saiyan's stomach, who receives the attack with pain, while the smaller Saiyan warns that this alone is far from being enough. Vegeta throws another punch, sending Broly flying. Broly responds quickly, despite the hard blows received, accumulating energy in his hands in the form of spheres and throwing everything at Vegeta, who prepares to defend himself and sees this sequence of shots arrive without much concern, showing that it is nothing for him. With skillful movements worthy of an experienced warrior, the Prince of Saiyans deflects all these shots with ease, frustrating Broly. However, Broly doesn't give up and goes for another attack, this time descending towards the opponent, preparing for a physical blow that noticeably doesn't intimidate Vegeta, given the smile with which he waits for the enemy to approach. Broly builds up his strength to strike, but before he can land the blow, Vegeta dodges, letting the ground receive the punch instead and suffering the damage from the larger Saiyan's powerful fist. Soon after moving away, Vegeta returns to his opponent with a jump, throwing a knee towards Broly's face, but which only served as a feint for a punch that hits the legendary warrior squarely in the face. Landing from his jump, Vegeta instructs Broly not to attack like a mad beast. He again jumps to attack, telling Broly to think before attacking. It's when another punch is almost reaching Broly's face that Vegeta realizes that his opponent is smarter than he thought. A smile from Broly indicates that he was already expecting this, and taking advantage of this opportunity, he opens his mouth to fire a wave of energy at close range at Vegeta, who is swallowed and carried away by this torrential attack. Vegeta did not receive this attack unscathed, showing some injuries on his body, although nothing serious. Now he understood Broly's strategy, pointing out that Broly pretended to fight in a stupid way so that he would lower his guard and open a gap. After realizing this, Vegeta admits that he has improved both in his way of fighting and in his way of thinking. This proves that the Broly of now is definitely not the same one who fought against him on Earth. Meanwhile, on the planet of destruction from Universe 12, Goku makes a very unusual request to the God of Destruction Giin. Accompanied by Vados, Goku talks to the god of Universe 12, who is accompanied by his tutor, Martinu. Giin has just heard what Goku had to say, and is a little intrigued by the favor that was asked of him. "Do you want my help traveling through time?" Giin asks this as an intrigued smile forms on his face. As if begging, Goku puts his hands together. He asks Giin to please help him, as this is the only universe he knows of that has a time machine. It will take time to get it any other way, and he doesn't have time. Giin asks how Goku knows that there is a time machine in this universe. Goku says that he knows this thanks to an enemy he faced. He says he knows that the time machine is with the Supreme Kai of this universe. When he went to see the Supreme Kai and asked for the machine, he was told that it could only be given with Giin's permission. Giin asks Goku why he wants to go back in time. Goku responds that the reason is his energy of destruction. Giin gets curious about this, and Goku starts to explain what happened a little better. Now going back to that moment where Goku was talking to Kakarot in his subconscious, he has just received the news that he would have to go back in time, and is obviously very surprised by this. Exactly. More specifically to a time before your home planet was destroyed, Kakarot confirms and specifies. Goku asks how this will help him master the powers of the energy of destruction, that is, Kakarot's powers. Kakarot then begins to explain in the most detailed way possible. You see, your body is already strong enough to withstand all the power I can offer you, but if your mind is not prepared enough, you will never be able to do it. You have always trained your body and mind, so your mind is almost as strong as your body. However, your mind is incomplete because there is a missing part of you. As long as this part is missing, you will not be able to comprehend the essence of the power of destruction. Goku doesn't quite understand the talk about there being a missing part of him, demanding a better explanation of his energy of destruction. Kakarot elaborates on this. When you were a child, you hit your head hard and lost a part of your memory, that is, a part of you. All your Saiyan memories are gone, memories that are linked to your origin and that are very important in the formation of your inner self. Mentally, you were never complete, Goku, and that is the main reason you were not prepared for the power of destruction. Recovering these memories will bring back a very important part of your consciousness and make you complete. That way, you will be ready to understand and master my power. Back in the present time, Giin finished listening to everything Goku told him. He admits that this all makes a lot of sense, but remembers that time travel is against the laws of the gods, as Goku knows. So he questions why Goku expects him to receive punishment for a training that isn't his and that may not even work. It seems that Goku was already expecting this type of question, and he already has an idea to solve this problem. Goku then takes a combat stance and challenges Universe 12's God of Destruction to a fight. This challenge leaves both the God and the Angel of Universe 12 very surprised. In parallel to this, inside Whis staff, an intense confrontation takes place in the skies, observed by the Angel and the God of Universe 7. It seems that Vegeta is getting the worst of it for now, being forced to retreat in the face of Broly's attacks. Whis notes that even using a large amount of power, Broly is still managing to maintain his precision and reason. There's nothing else Vegeta can do against him in Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta receives a hard punch from Broly, which throws him hard against the ground. Despite the force with which he was thrown, Vegeta manages to land without crashing, even though it's not exactly a smooth landing. Then, he now needs to stand up to prepare himself to receive a hard attack from Broly, who comes from above, eager to strike his opponent, and lands a direct punch on Vegeta, who gives his own forehead to be hit instead of the face, being pushed by Broly's great strength as he struggles to resist the blow while remaining standing, creating a line of destruction on the floor of the dimension. But Vegeta incredibly manages to stop Broly's overwhelming blow. Despite the blood spilled from his forehead, the Prince of Saiyans smiles, surprising the other Saiyan. Vegeta praises Broly and says that this was a good warm-up. Evoking his power with even more intensity, he releases an aura of powerful energy that pushes Broly. This aura of energy soon manifested itself in the form of the power of destruction, emanating with great density. Now revealing his ultra ego, Vegeta tells Broly that it's time for the real fight. Seeing that transformation and truly dark power, Broly doesn't hide his fear, revealing it in an expression of terror. The one who makes a similar expression is Goku, who has just seen the God of Destruction from Universe 12 also releasing his power of destruction with great intensity. Giin is furious for being challenged. He asks how Goku dares to defy him and promises that he will tear the Saiyan God to pieces. A true whirlwind of destructive power is released by the God of Destruction of Universe 12. Goku can barely remain in place in front of him, being pushed by the force exerted in releasing this power. Impressed and perhaps a little scared, Goku recognizes that the murderous and destructive aura that this guy is releasing is no joke. Martinu and Vados are watching everything. Martinu is a little surprised and worried about the situation. She comments to her sister that Giin is really irritated by Goku's challenge and asks Vados what her student has in mind to challenge Giin like that out of the blue. Vados explains that Goku came to the conclusion that if he gets the time machine through combat, Giin won't be punished if something goes wrong. So the plan here is that it could be said that Giin handed over the time machine out of coercion and not of his own free will. Furthermore, it had been a long time since Goku wanted to test his powers as a destroyer compared to the other gods of destruction, so he combined business with pleasure. Martinu asks if they will allow this. Since this type of fight between gods shouldn't happen, they take another look at the other two. Giin continues to release his power with potency, and Goku is still trying not to be carried by it. Despite this, Vados is calm and responds to her plumper sister by suggesting that they let them fight a little. Deep down, she is curious to see how good a teacher she is being to Goku. In other words, Vados wants to test herself as a teacher by comparing her student to her sisters. Martinu seems to find this funny and comments that her sister never loses that competitive spirit. While Goku is still struggling to maintain his position, Giin finally finishes releasing his energy and moves forward to attack. Faster than lightning, Giin arrives at Goku, already preparing a punch. Goku is amazed by his speed. The blow has devastating force, generating a huge explosion on the island, which is split in half by the power of this attack at the same time that the planet's sea is shaking. After creating a real abyss on his own island, Giin realizes that it was a useless try. He tells Goku that it was very smart of him to resort to that. Goku was not hit by the blow on the ground because he escaped to the sky, already showing the appearance of Ultra Instinct. After spotting his opponent in the sky, Giin goes to him. Goku comments in his mind that that attack was incredibly strong and fast. He could have been killed or defeated if he hadn't used his Ultra Instinct to dodge at the last moment. Despite all this, Goku smiles, showing excitement. He comments that there is in fact no room for amateurism in a fight between gods of destruction. Another person who is being carried by a powerful release of energy is Broly, who is barely able to keep himself steady on the ground thanks to the large amount of ki released by Vegeta, who has just shown him his ultra ego for the first time. Broly sees this new form with a certain fear, finding this power frightening. Vegeta notices the fear on the other Saiyan's face and asks what the problem is. After all, he warned that it was not a joke. Vegeta wastes no time and resumes the fight by firing a Hakai. Broly gets scared when he sees that energy and quickly dodges awkwardly. Vegeta's shot goes straight through and explodes further away. Lemo and Chilai are impressed by the power of this attack. Chilai asks what that was, wondering if Broly could resist if it hit him. Lemo is also tense, questioning whether Vegeta is really trying to kill Broly. Next to them, Beerus and Whis watch everything in silence, with attentive eyes. Broly is still in shock from the attack that almost hit him, but he is quickly brought back to reality when Vegeta arrives, already punching him squarely in the face, scolding him, and asking what he's looking for. In Universe 12, the fight between the gods of destruction continues. Giin attacks Goku repeatedly, while the god of Universe 6 dodges. Giin is very angry. asking if all Goku knows is run away. But apparently it's very difficult for Goku to counterattack because according to him, the Universe 12 God's attacks are too voracious. Giin gives up his physical attacks and raises his hands, evoking a powerful Hakai in the form of a giant globe of energy that even scares Goku. Giin launches the energy, forcing Goku to dodge. When the larger attack is avoided, the 12th Universe Destroyer fires several smaller shots in the form of multiple energy spheres. Flying low to the sea, Goku dodges the rain of attacks which falls on the waters like a violent storm that stirs them up. Taking advantage of Ultra Instinct's excellent dodging skills, Goku manages to avoid the shots one by one, much to Jin's frustration. Giin gives up on his attempts from a distance and approaches once again, shouting at Goku to get back. He intercepts Goku's flight, stopping in his way, saying he caught him. Goku, who is flying at high speed, won't be able to stop in time. Giin prepares a punch and delivers a blow that generates such great pressure that it creates a line of destruction, breaking through the wall of the planet and leaving a huge damage. However, Goku dodged it in time, although barely. The counter-attack comes immediately, with the Saiyan agile and skillfully passing under the arm of the Universe 12 God, invading his guard to deliver a precise punch to the opponent's pain point. Goku's fist is as strong as it is accurate, causing an explosion of impact that reverberates to their surroundings, destroying everything around it. Giin really suffered this attack, with the pain clearly written on his face. However, with pain comes opportunity, and he uses it to grab Goku, who is alarmed by this. Giin smiles, saying that Goku is his now. His hand comes, grabbing the Saiyan's neck tightly, who feels the other god's hand crushing his throat. Giin continues his movement, lifting Goku and taking him down to bury the other destroyer with everything on the island's floor until they reach the sea. Goku understands what Giin did. He let himself be hit on purpose to catch him. Looking at the hole left by the other two on the ground, Vados admits to Martinu that it was a smart move by Giin. They then stop flying over land and go to sea. Vados continues what she was saying, noting that Giin knew he would miss that attack because of Ultra Instinct's extremely sharp reflexes. However, he used Goku's instinctive and thoughtless movement to get a chance to capture him. Martinu confirms. She adds that a movement made instinctive is essentially a movement made without thinking. This means that it is likely to open gaps. Martinu says that after the Tournament of Power, Giin did his homework on Ultra Instinct, and it seems like it was worth it. Later, I would like to give a slightly more elaborate explanation about this strategy used by Giin and these comments from Martinu and Vados. It's a really cool explanation that even explains the science behind Ultra Instinct, so stay until the end of the video, okay? Well, continuing. After listening to Jin's plan on how to combat Ultra Instinct, Vados tells Martinu that she just doesn't understand the point in submerging Goku in water, since he won't drown. Martinu says that this strategy has to do with a special characteristic of Giin race, which has an aquatic origin. The truth is that when Giin comes into contact with water in the middle of a fight, his physical capabilities double. This lasts for as long as he is in the water and for a few minutes after he leaves. In short, Giin is twice as strong now. Vados gets a little worried and says this is a problem. At sea, the God of Destruction from Universe 12 descends deeper and deeper, carrying Goku by the neck, saying that he is finished. In this critical situation, Goku sees no other way. Suddenly, the sea starts to get really rough. Martinu feels something that alarms her and asks if that is what she thinks it is. Vados confirms her suspicions and guarantees that things will now go to the next level. An explosion happens on one of the planet's side walls. Then, Giin comes out of the smoke, injured. Stopping the movement forced by the push he suffered at the time of the attack, he looks seriously in the direction he came from, realizing that Goku has finally decided to use this power. From the water flowing beyond the hole, Goku reappears. Giin looks at him with concern. Girdled by the power of destruction, Goku displays his God of Destruction transformation. Around the planet of destruction of Universe 12, an intense combat takes place in the form of multiple figures and impact waves, indicating the confrontation of two extremely fast and strong combatants. The combatants are the owner of this planet himself, the God of Destruction of Universe 12, Giin, and also his visitor, the God of Destruction of Universe 6, Goku. The host is pressured by his visitor, retreating as the other advances, who attempts combined quick, strong, and precise blows. Traces of their movements are made around them as the exchange of blows continues. Goku faces his opponent voraciously, yet calmly, making clear his comfortable position at this point in the fight. Opposite to this, Giin grinds his teeth in a sign of irritation, showing a phase of discomfort in the fight that, a few moments ago, was completely under his control. A small waterfall leaks from the hole opened in the side of the planet, the work of Goku just a few moments ago. Brandishing her magical glowing staff, Martinu begins to fix this, starting the repair process, watched by her sister, Vados. Vados comments that Giin is in a bad situation now, because using the power of destruction combined with Ultra Instinct, Goku finds the perfect balance between technique and brute power. Vados must be very proud of herself, since at the beginning of the fight between the two, she confessed to her sister that she wanted to test herself as a master through this fight between their students. Martinu admits that it is very impressive that Goku can do such a thing, especially at such a young age. As the two masters comment on the combat, it continues frantically across the planet's skies, both gods attacking with multiple sequential blows. At one point, their fists end up meeting, generating a powerful shockwave that spreads across the surroundings, reaching the planet's waters and causing a stir in Jin's private sea, whose waters are rocked due to the great force exerted by the destroyers. Both Giin and Goku try hard in this fist fight. This is proven by the expressions on their faces. The advantage belongs to Goku, who, overcoming his rival's strength, pushes and destabilizes him. Subsequently, Goku takes advantage of the opening in Jin's guard to deliver a strong kick that launches the God of Universe 12 from the sky to one of the side buildings of his planet. Goku doesn't take long to go down to where his opponent fell, looking for him in one of the building's several arches. After not finding Giin, Goku suggests that they don't waste time and asks him to get out of where he is. Below the Saiyan God, the waters are agitated, and then the sea spits out its god. Giin emerges from the waters, attracting Goku's attention with an attack prepared in his hand in the form of an accumulation of destructive energy. Such a hand that the god of destruction of the 12th universe raises, conjuring the name of his technique, Claws of Destruction. Goku pays attention when he notices that a special attack is coming. Giin attacks with an armful in the air. In this gesture, making concentrated lines of energy appear in the form of claws projected towards Goku. Seeing the approach of the attack that is probably too fast for him to dodge, the Saiyan immediately raises his arms to defend himself. Jin's Claws of Destruction zip past Goku, slicing through the sturdy construct behind him as easily as a sword cuts through a block of butter. However, on Goku's body, the result was nothing more than measly scratches on his arms, proving that the body of Universe 6's God of Destruction is as resistant as a fortress. Giin is surprised to see the lack of effectiveness of his technique, disbelieving that only a scratch was made. Goku proclaims that it is now his turn and goes against the other destroyer. His look and posture anticipate a powerful offensive. Giin doesn't intend to let that happen and rains down a shower of energy shots in front of the enemy. Taking advantage of Ultra Instinct's excellent dodging ability, Goku skillfully passes through the other deity's shots, advancing through the attacks in a way unexpected for Giin, who sees this with great alarm. The god of Universe 12 gives up on smaller attacks and resorts to a much larger attack, raising his hands to generate a big mass of power that he quickly launches against the one who approaches. None of this works with Goku, who once again uses his Ultra Instinct to avoid what is thrown at him and finally reaches his target with an already prepared blow. Giin can do nothing but be impressed. Now unleashing his devastating offensive from the energy of destruction, Goku punches Giin squarely in the face. The force of impact is such that it causes an explosion of power to reverberate to the surroundings, lighting up the skies and shaking the air of the planet. Giin is pushed from the sky to the sea by Goku's punch. Even after being submerged in the waters, he continues to sink deeper and deeper until he reaches the bottom of the planet and passes through it. Still being pushed by the massive force of that blow, even after being expelled from his own domains. But Goku hasn't finished yet. At very high speed, he goes around the planet to get behind Giin, who is caught off guard by the enemy's great speed. Goku goes against Giin, stopping his movement with a devastating kick to the back of the Universe 12 God of Destruction. A blow of dizzying force that causes great pain to the destroyer. An impact explosion occurs and Giin is sent back to his planet, opening another crater in its structure. Martino doesn't like seeing this at all and complains as she wonders how many holes she will need to fix. Giin now goes the entire way in reverse, going from the bottom to the top of the planet, being expelled by the sea and forcefully heading towards the skies again. He is astonished by Goku's incredible performance, noting that in addition to Ultra Instinct's incredible defensive capabilities and precision, he has all the ferocity and attack power of a god of destruction. Above him, Goku appears. The Saiyan god gives no quarter, already forming a highly concentrated Kamehameha. Giin becomes alarmed again, this time bordering on despair to see what his opponent intends. He raises his ki to abruptly stop his forced displacement. But it's too late. Goku extends his arms and shouts his attack, releasing concentrated power with all his determination, showing no hesitation in ending this fight once and for all. The energetic torrent released by the God of Destruction of Universe 6 is gigantic, sweeping away not only Giin but also part of the structure of the God of Destruction of Universe 12's planet, like a real wave that sweeps away the fragile sand of the beach. In another universe, another warrior has difficulty too. This warrior is Broly, who is thrown from the sky to the ground with great force, feeling the pain of the impact with the ground. Later, another person descends from the sky with equal power, striking Broly with a knee of crushing violence that shakes the larger warrior, drawing his blood and causing him great agony. Vegeta grabs Broly by his clothes, demanding that the legendary Saiyan use that power he showed on Earth. Broly is reluctant, stating that he can't use it. A punch in the face comes, followed by a reprimand. Vegeta asks if Broly wants to die, revealing his intention to kill him if necessary. Broly insists on denying it, justifying that if he uses more power, he will lose control and hurt his friends. More punches come. Vegeta asks if he would rather die than use his power and accuses Broly of being a disgrace. The Destroyer Warrior asks what Broly thinks his enemies will do to his friends if he loses the fight. Broly has no answer. By his behavior, he has already given up arguing or fighting. Vegeta decides to calm down, stopping attacking his opponent to think better. He sighs and says that if Broly doesn't use all of his power, it will be of no use in his training. The Prince of Saiyan's mind is visited by an idea that for some reason brings a malicious smile to his face. Vegeta reveals that he already knows how to solve this problem. Broly is a little worried by this statement, disturbed by what Vegeta meant by that. The answer comes with a movement. Vegeta's hand is pointed towards those watching in a threatening gesture. Chilai and Lemo are shocked, with the latter questioning in disbelief if this is some kind of joke. Beerus and Whis, on the other hand, know it's no joke. The first suggests that it's time to get the hell out of there. The second agrees. It doesn't take long. The divine duo walks away, leaving the two mortals alone and deserted, with Chilai begging them to return. Broly asks Vegeta what he's doing, even though he already has an idea of his intentions. Chilai and Lemo also know what's coming, and they are very scared. Mouths open and eyes wide, they pay attention to Broly and Vegeta, waiting for the latter's response. Vegeta tells Broly that the answer is simple. If these two are what's stopping Broly from using his full power, then all he needs to do is eliminate them. He suggests that the Saiyans say goodbye to his friends. Terrified, Broly yells at Chilai and Lemo to run. Vegeta doesn't give them a chance and fires his shot. Chilai and Lemo try to run, but the attack catches up to them. An explosion goes off. Broly screams in the purest act of despair. In contrast, Vegeta smiles. He says this is what happens when someone counts on a cowardly protector like him. When the dust raised by the explosion begins to settle, it is seen that there is nothing left where Broly's two dear friends were other than some dusty traces of what they were just seconds ago. Broly looks at this in disbelief, realizing that what he feared most had actually happened. Vegeta confirms, saying that they are dead. He tells Broly that he doesn't need to worry as he is about to join them. Overcome with pain and fury, Broly shouts a curse at Vegeta, abruptly releasing a huge amount of power that destroys a vast region of the ground around him, while a frantic ki aura rises, pushing Vegeta away from him. Once away, Vegeta watches his opponent with a smile, saying happily that they are finally speaking the same language. Broly shouts his battle cry. His golden hair reveals the legendary warrior's Super Saiyan, and the disappearance of the pupils of his eyes reveals the loss of his sanity. Overcome with fury and madness, Broly charges forward, vowing to completely crush Vegeta. In Universe 12, with Giin's private sea leaking from his own planet, we see a glimpse of the damage caused by Goku's latest attack on the home of the God of Destruction. Only after executing that powerful attack does Goku realize he overdid it. He feels bad for having been momentarily carried away by Kakarot's impetus for destruction and admits that he ended up overreacting. Goku wonders worriedly if Giin is okay. Martinu's concern, however, is not the damage that her student may have suffered, but rather the damage caused to the planet, which she will need to repair. Watching his sister work, Vados comments that energy discharge had enough power to kill even a god of destruction, and admits that Goku crossed the line. She also expresses concern for Giin and asks if he is okay. On the other hand, Martinu is much less worried. She gives her sister a calm smile and asks if she forgot that Goku isn't facing any amateur. This question makes Vados a little curious. In the great waterfall that leaks from the planet of destruction, a true vortex begins, accompanied by a strong light. Suddenly, a whirlwind of power manifests itself in the form of a large tornado spreading wind, water, and energy throughout the environment. Goku is startled, needing to put some effort to avoid being carried away by this blast of pressure exerted by this titanic power released. The Saiyan recognizes that it is Jin's ki. However, it is very different now. Goku becomes even more alarmed when he sees something. Jin's silhouette begins to appear in the running water, and it looks really different. Startled, Goku seems to understand what this different appearance is about. Noticing his opponent's astonishment, Giin sarcastically asks what happened, and if Goku thought he was the only one who can use the power of energy of destruction.